Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. We are today going to finish off our Snow Princess from Ruth Sanderson's Grayscale book, and we've done everything for the background now. So from last time I've completed her other hand and can't remember what else we didn't actually do in the video, so whatever else was missing, I think I did the rest of her headdress as well, if I remember right, and yeah, not totally sure, but today we are continuing on with the background, and I hate backgrounds and I really should learn to do them first, but I never do. So we decided this was our light source, and obviously everything will get darker out from here, especially as we go upwards into the night sky. I've decided there's nothing behind her, everything's just going to be the sky itself, I think. And we will start with this little, I don't know what we're calling it, mist that she's collecting, I suppose. I've got a Prismacolor white for this. The rest of the pencils I'll be using today will be Arteza. So if you've got your Arteza white quartz, any kind of white that you like to use that kind of shows up quite nicely on the page, use that one. I will, as always, pop any colours or pencils that I use in the description box for you down below. We are going to start with our white area and just start to fill in the centre of this mass, which is its lightest spot, with our white. And then as we start to come out from the middle, as always, we're just laying that down a little bit lighter. So our blend will have a more feathered, even effect. And I am popping that white over some of the grey to give it more of a misty appearance while still being a white grey tone. And I'm just working that up and out into where I've decided my magic ball, shall we call it, is going to be. I'm going to pop our snowflakes back in afterwards like I did with the rest of the dress. It's easier to work on it that way. So I avoid them as much as possible, but I won't really mess with the fine detail of it until later. I've then got a cream in the Arteza. It's the cream 150. So a cream from any set that you have. The Arteza are a softish wax-based pencil, if that makes a difference for what you pick. And I'm now building this out into this darker grey edge. So the white is in the middle and the cream comes out around it, starting to blend that into some of that grey area we popped the white into. So I'm still not yet adding any blue to this. It will hopefully make sense as we lay the colours on the page. I just wanted the appearance of it still being a light source without you know, where the white is still the centre. The brightest part of the light is the white middle, and then we have the cream flowing into and around it, and just starting to blend that into the white a little. I'm going to bring this cream up through the middle, keep you on the page. And this will either work or it won't. But I do want to keep this, it's almost like this is where the magic is swirling in from. And I would like to keep that effect if we can. So I'm just creating a trail of cream. Not putting too much down, so we're not burnishing this page, because once you've done that you won't be able to undo anything or lay anything. And I'm still going around that white, those very white areas, because I'll pop that back in with my white Prisma later. And then I'm just going to do this patch as well. I'm going to turn you. I'm blending in circles, laying down this cream just to keep my pressure even and light. I'm even popping a little bit up into this darker grey up the top. And I'm just now going to widen out where this cream's sitting, just winding that ball of light until we have that kind of effect. Okay, I'm now going to take the palest blue that I've chosen. It's almost a very pale purpley blue. It's difficult in the Arteza set to get very, very pale blues, so I've gone with 068 Periwinkle Blue. I don't have a sharp point on it, I have a blending point, so it's almost a flat surface. And I'm just going to bring that all the way around the edge of that cream, and then just ever so slightly bring it into the cream itself. And I just want to give it that very, very pale purpley blue edge. You can use any pencil set you have. Never has to be the same one. You just want that kind of pale purpley blue. And if you don't have the exact same colours, then measure the depth of the one you have, and if it's a little bit darker, pop a bit less pressure on and you'll get the same effect. You can always add some white to it later, and if it's too light you can add some black. So I don't want a harsh line between those two colours, so I'm blending that blue over that cream. Just gives it a misty edge, we hope. Did I say I hate backgrounds? And you just do that layer all the way around the edge of that cream. We're then going to take the next shade that I've got, which is in the Arteza, a slightly brighter, darker blue, 008 Peacock Blue. Again, I'm actually going to take the point off my pencil a little bit, so I've got a bit of a flat surface to work with, just to make my life easier. And again, I'm going to lay that next to and slightly over. It's a much brighter, darker colour, this one, so I'm popping a lot less pressure on. And just bringing it over that other blue slightly along the edge, so we get a mix of the two colours without, I'll just get rid of whatever I've got underneath my page before it marks anything. Nice big circles. Ever so slightly onto that next blue layer, and starting to be very careful as always. Just going to give myself a little edge there to work to. It's the only time that I'm going to stray away from my circles, because I don't want to get anything ink pencil over all that page we've spent painstaking time colouring. Pop a little bit along the inside of that ribbon there in that same colour. And continue around just over the top of that blue slightly. And again, just careful along the edges of these fingers. All the way around with a thinner edge now along the top, because we want to get darker a little bit quickly along the top. Our next blue, yes I have a few, is again quite a nice bright but dark blue in 103 Sapphire Blue in the Arteza set. Again, I'm just going to make sure I've got a slightly flat edge to work with. I'm just rubbing the point off my pencil so that I end up with, you can see it, this kind of shape. And I will then lay that flat to the page. Oh, you want, there we go. And we're now building up that very carefully. Don't go over your white edging that you've given things. Again, going slightly over the previous blue in circles. Avoid your snowflakes as best you can. And the hair. And the highlights on the hair. And all the way along and round. You could do a bit of a thicker layer in the bottom than the top half. So a thicker band in a way. Bringing it slightly over that last blue. Big circles. Not too much pressure. going to extend that middle blue a little bit further along. This is something you have to be a little bit patient with and kind of build up. You know, you get all your colours placed where you want them, and then you do need to add a couple of layers of each row. So maybe set your coloured pencils on your desk in the order that you've used them, so you don't confuse yourself for the next layer. It's very annoying when you do that. And we all do it. Back over that last layer of blue. And you should start to see those different colours forming. I'm going to add a bit more of the cream here. And then I may bring my very pale blue next time round a little bit higher so it doesn't look so dark there. Right, next blue we have, I've now selected a very dark blue. In the Arteza it's 142 Prussian Blue, and again just scribbling on a scrap piece of paper to take the tip off my pencil, give myself a flat edge that won't leave any streaks on my paper, and in circles, blending lightly over that last blue, we now add our dark blue. Nice and careful around the headdress. I am creating a line around there. I don't really mind if it looks like it's shadowed around the edge of that. Pencil backgrounds, even on grayscale, are hard work and take time, but last hurdle now, guys. You're of course very welcome to use soft pastel. It's Amazon paper, so don't tend to really advise watercolour. For a soft pastel, a white, some mid-tone blue, and then some darker blue to black. You could even lay your quick layer of pencil down in these colours and then do your next layer in soft pastel. There's many different ways to do the same page, and you can just pop some white snowflakes back in afterwards when you're done. I honestly don't know how Distress Inks do on Amazon paper, so I don't know if you could use a distress ink background or not. They are still quite wet, so whether the paper would take that or not, don't know. A lovely subscriber did mention about, I showed you in my haul, I got some more distress inks, and just arrived. I also, I say that, I think my whole video is coming up after this one, so you won't know that yet. It's hard when you film all these videos. I don't always put them up in the same order, and then you can't remember what's where. But there will soon be a whole video up, and in it you will see I got some more. They're not the distress inks though, they're Memento inks, but they're the same kind of thing, so I can try them for backgrounds. And a lovely subscriber mentioned some distress crayons, and I'd never seen those before, so I had a little look at them, and I got a little pack of, I think you get a little pack of 5 or 6 in some pale colours to try. I think they're quite like gelatos, that sort of thing, like a water activated crayon. Okay, so we're just starting to see that come to life. I think I'm going to add, just in here, just very lightly, a bit of a darker blue over that. Just for the contrast. I know it seems crazy, but sometimes it does work. Okay, so I would kind of fade back out into a mid-tone blue around here, but as we go up I would actually get darker, so I'll show that spot. We'll start with a little bit of a cream edge just to make sure we've got it laid down there. And then our first blue was the Periwinkle Blue 068 in the Arteza, and this time I'm popping thinner layers, widths should I say, so the same pencil pressure, same amount of pencil, but I'm laying a thinner stripe down. Bring that over the cream a little bit. My next blue was the Peacock Blue 008, and again just a very thin stripe of that, slightly over the other blue. And then we went to 103 Sapphire Blue, and again a thin stripe of that. Bringing it slightly over the previous blue. And then we went to our Prussian Blue 148, which is our darkest, more kind of navy blue. Circles again, bring it down onto that previous blue. This time I'm going to lay a thicker band of that darker blue. It's kind of midnight colour. Just feather that out. And then I'm taking a black. In the Arteza it is Noir 012. Again, I'm going to take my tip off. And took my tip off now, I can't remember whereabouts it is. There we go. Right, so in circles again, bringing that black down to meet that dark blue, feathering it out over the last layer. You'll notice I did a much thicker blend area for the black, just because you do want that blue underneath that black, just to have a less harsh line between them. And that will be the last colour that I bring all the way up. And as I get away from the last blend colour, I'm actually going to darken my pressure on that black. Are we on camp? Yes, we are. Still avoiding the stars that I can, or the snow that I can, or the magic mist, I don't know. But whatever it is, avoid it as best we can. Nice edge, and then circles. That is the foundation layer for our sky, and we would continue to build. So we would take our white, pop some more white out and over this cream. This is Amazon paper, you will not get many layers, so do make them count. Where's my cream? My bit of cream. Just around the edges of that white. We'll have a little hand rest and then go to our next blue. I wouldn't advise, for the sake of your wrists, you do this all in one sitting, to be honest. It's the kind of, backgrounds are the kind of thing that, if you're going to do a pencil one, work on it a little bit and come back to it. When you're fed up, just start, or it's just going to suck all the fun out of it for you. Just do it when you fancy it. So the next blue is that Periwinkle Blue 068. Bringing it up and into that cream again. This is our slightly purpley toned blue. Mix it into the next blue layer as well. We then went to Peacock Blue 008, again bringing it over the previous layer of blue, just ever so slightly mix them together, and then take it up into the next layer of blue as well. Now we know where all those placements are, we can start to really blend the colours together. You'll get this more kind of uniform look instead of that kind of stripe that we have going on with our first layer. And as always with Grayscale, they're a lot easier than they ever look. All the foundations are there for you, you don't have to work out where your light source is, where the lightest part of your folds will be, where your highlights are. Once you start to create your page, they're all there. Again, do be careful as you get closer to your detail work. Our next blue was Sapphire Blue A103. Again, I'm going over the previous blue, just a little light layer, just to start to build up our blend. And then darkening that up slightly as we move away from the previous layer. Need to remember to be on camera. There we go. Just popping in some of these details that we hadn't done so far. And always as I go, making sure not to cover those purposely left white edges to things, and therefore maintaining the highlights we created. Alright, so we continue to bring that up and around. Into the previous and next colour. where I created my almost my shadow here, I'm going to pop a little bit of this blue in as well this time. Creating a little bit of shape to that, almost recreating that swirl. And my darkest blue, the Prussian Blue 142, bringing it up and over that last layer of blue and darkening as we come away from it. And then I'm going to bring a little bit into the centre of this darkness as well, making this area more blue, less cream now as we build some layers up. Just gives it a little bit more interest sometimes. And I hope that gave you kind of the idea of what we're creating. What I'll then do is go in and just feather in over some of these white snowflakes. I'll leave that one because I don't think we've popped the layers on yet. So I'm just popping these back in a little bit more roughly than they were to start with, but I think what we'll do with these ones is make them kind of that mid-tone blue, the Sapphire Blue 103, like a mid-bright blue, and using the point of the pencil for this. Just pop that shape back in. There we go. And we'll do it for all of the ones that are in that darker tone. Just for the centre of the magic there. And everything else you would just continue with. Each is a layer around. Use your light to then build the layers around. Darken them up as you need to as you go to make them look kind of more blended. And just build up. You'll probably get about 3 layers altogether as a maximum on that page, to be honest. So make them count. Darker in the top, and then your blend would kind of, from about here, your dark blue will come back into a lighter, like a mid-tone blue, and then probably stay the mid-tone blue until we're much lower, and you could add that slightly lighter third blue from there, and then pop in all your white snowflakes back in over the top afterwards as best you can, so you have this kind of misty snow effect. Same with your snow. I just ever so slightly pop these little flakes back in, and it keeps that pattern for you. So let's see if we can come out a little bit. That is what we have so far. I hope you found this useful, guys. Thank you very much if you've stuck with me this far. It's been a bit of an epic page, this one, as mine always are. And if you like the video, please do pop a thumbs up on it. It lets me know whether to do these colouring videos with you or not. And I will see you in the next one.